Hello and welcome to your daily oracle reading. I'm Linda the Lightworker and I'm so glad you stopped by. If you'd like to book a private reading with me or a personal reading or give one as a gift for a graduate or someone who's going through a transition and might like some insight on something, email me right down below, lindathelightworker@gmail.com, and I'll get you scheduled in just as soon as I can. Let's jump into the cards. Okay, I'm starting with the Great Unknown tarot deck. And this first card that's come up is the Emperor card. Wow, look at that tree. Look at how big and strong and how it reaches to the sun. And it looks almost even like there's an eclipse happening with the sun. I don't know why the sun is a little bit blackened out, but you can see that fire happening behind it. And I have, I did my meditation and then I just kept staring at the card, at this tree. And I asked Spirit about that tree. I said, Spirit, what's going on? Because that's how we chat. And Spirit said, this tree is about the Father energy, about the inner divine masculinity inside of you. Now, we've talked a lot about divine femininity and clarifying it. And there is a shadow side to some of the feminine traits. Some of the traits of the shadow side of divine femininity, well, it's not divine, but the shadow side down below, I'm listening, is the critic, the inner critic, right? That can often take the form of a female. It is more common for the female to be judgmental than the male. Now, this is a gross generality, right? Gross. Yeah, it's kind of gross, in fact. But that judgment and that comparison, because women were programmed to be the most beautiful, to attract the strongest, biggest, whatever kind of man, because we couldn't take care of ourselves. We weren't allowed to, we weren't even allowed to hold property. I mean, come on, women's rights are very young. We've almost hitting 100 years that we have the right to voice an opinion by voting in this country, my homeland. So that's an interesting thing to think about. And so the way a female survived was through the judgment and through improving her looks, because men traditionally are attracted by pretty things. And if you weren't pretty or delicate enough or demure enough, you all know this story. Then you cut down others because you're trying to get the man, right? Terrible, terrible, terrible. And I was raised in a household where every physical detail about you was torn apart and how you weren't good enough based on your appearance. So, to counteract that is this divine masculinity. And so, when we step into that divine masculine power, which is a solid, we're talking rock hard abs in the sense of self-esteem abs, right? In the gut. When we feel that strength in the gut and that divine masculinity, this tree isn't out there saying, hey, I'm the biggest tree, I'm the best tree, I'm the greatest tree. This tree is simply standing strong, and you look at it and you're like, wow, what a tree. And that is standing in that divine masculinity of knowing what you offer and knowing how strong you can be. And it is rebuilding that inner strength. And Spirit is saying, you're ready to do that. That we have been flooded, literally people are flooded. There's been so much water and rain, and it's adding that kind of shadow and darkness from that femininity. And Spirit saying, come on out, stand strong, be in this sunlight. Even if it's a little blocked, there's still rays getting out there. This kind of looks like an overcast day. So maybe this reading is particularly important for you who are in the UK or in London or in the Northwest, where it might be overcast. So pay attention to that. And I'm hearing too, even though there may be smoke, this could be smoke around this tree that makes that sun look that way, that even if there's something cloudy or you can't see clearly into the distance, still stand strong. Stand strong, stand your ground. It doesn't mean being inflexible. When the wind blows, this tree sways with it. Its branches go, yeah, I can do that. Sure, I'm a tree. But listen, one of my favorite things about um, the Tolkien books, right? The Lord of the Rings, all those guys. I'm total nerdy kind of gal. Is that they have the tree people who speak, it's like talking to a rock, right? Rocks have a lot to say, but they speak very slowly and it takes a lot of time. So if you want to commune with a rock, you need to sit still and ask a rock a question and then wait for the answer. It's the same thing when you're talking to the trees. The tree people are very slow speakers. So think of this with yourself, with this divine masculinity. It is slowing down and listening thoughtfully to that masculine message that is coming through for you to regain your strength and to stand in your power. This tree only gets stronger when more seedlings are around it. You know, their roots interlock, they feel tighter, they're a tight-knit community. But this tree is standing alone. He must stand alone first before he rebuilds. So, God, this tree's got a lot to say. So when I asked for a little bit more clarification, I went to the Gateway, the Denis Linn Gateway deck. I told you this is a new deck. And, you know, I haven't updated my info down below, but I will shortly. But I love Denis Linn. I like this image. It's a little tricky to see. That's the image on the backs of these cards. It's quite beautiful. That's just the back. So anyway, the card that we received today is manifesting dreams. My dreams are coming true. So now here's the thing. Now looking at this card, this looks like a harvest card. It looks like an autumn card. So there are two meanings to this card. We've been talking about seeds, planting seeds. We plant seeds for others. We plant seeds for ourselves. Now they can be negative seeds or positive seeds. What are you planting in your garden? So when we look at this card with this harvest image, Spirit says immediately plant some seeds for the fall. Plant some seeds for the fall. And I like that idea. I'm ready to plant my squash seeds for the fall. Let's do that now. I'm not a gardener, so don't take any of my gardening tips. I'm a chef. I'd rather cook what you harvest. Okay? But it's like knowing when to plant the right seeds. But then I said, Spirit, what about today? What about today? What's going on? What are we manifesting? What is our harvest today? And Spirit says, look, it's berry seasons. There are berries and cherries and peas and all sorts of yummy things. Even out here in the Southwest, we have tomatoes that are forming and really starting to get, you know, green. Like already we're getting tomatoes. So pay attention to what you can harvest now from those seeds that you planted in the past, right? So notice what your harvest is, and it can just be looking at your daily life. Are you harvesting in restful sleep and peaceful meditations? Are you harvesting chaos? What kind of seeds did you plant a few months ago? And maybe you don't need to plant those seeds anymore. Maybe you need to plant new seeds. So pay attention to what you're harvesting. Are you able to plan a beautiful vacation or something in town? So the question is, what are you harvesting? Take a look at that. And if you don't like what you're harvesting, look at what you're planting. And remember, when we have a garden, it is about just tending it, which means looking at what does it need daily. Maybe a little water, maybe a little, I don't know what you need, just a little bit of food, a little plant food, right? And making sure the pests stay away. Those are the big three. Sunlight for, why did I start down this harvesting? Anyway, notice what you need to harvest and to manifest, to plant seeds in your life. It comes with positive self-care, breathing, walking, water, 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 and you know, all of these good things that nourish our body. And then when I went to the final card from my Divine Action deck, I got the big relax. Wow, relax. You know, it's funny with this hand injury that I've had, and it's healing quite nicely, and I have use of all my fingers, and I'm expected to fully recover. I'm so very lucky and so grateful. But what I noticed in my recovery is that whenever I got to bed early, because I like to wake up early around 5 a.m. That's just me. But whenever I got to bed early and got a full 8 or 9 hours sleep, I'd wake up and look at my hand and I'd be like, wow, look at how much better it looks. And I could really see the healing process based on my slowing down, relaxing, and taking care of myself. And that's the truth for our life. When we are able to slow it down, we don't have to go, go, go. We still may have busy schedules. But if rather than getting caught up in that excited, I gotta go, I gotta get this, like running off those adrenals, we slow it down, bring it on home, and relax, beautiful things happen. It's bringing it back to the present moment. Oh gosh, that moment is always the best one out there. All right, my dear. Well, be the tree. I am the tree. Be the tree. Embrace that inner divine masculinity and be strong and flow with it and enjoy. Enjoy what you are harvesting now. Go get some berries. Have some beautiful fresh berries. All right, my dear. I love you so much and I'm so grateful you stopped by, and I look forward to seeing you next time.